our household it is going to be referred to as 209, but it's also the year that I might get my license back. So thank you all very much for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's very important on a day like this that someone says a few words about the charm, generosity, outstanding qualities, and all-round good character of the birthday boy. Those were his exact words. And as I was the only person present when he said them, it wasn't hard to take the hint. However, having been his best man and spoken to many of you before, I'm conscious of the need to veer onto new ground. So, sorry lad, out goes the 209, and out goes business career. Instead, I would like to say a few words about meeting Hendo, or Stephen. Does anyone actually call him Stephen? Does anyone even know anyone who calls him Stephen? Or Steve? There's my mum, of course, who for reasons too complex to fathom, has always gone for Stevie. But for the rest of us, he's Hendo. For the rest of us, he was born Hendo. I first met Hendo at Downside in the winter of 1976. He had left the school a term earlier, trailing an awesome reputation behind him, as the Spanish cleaning ladies would ruefully testify. And I had just started. Hendo, or perhaps Hendo, turned up for the old boys rugby match with a broken leg, a bottle of beer, and he talked to a monk all afternoon. I remember he was wearing a pair of black combat trousers, which I found slightly unnerving, because up to that moment I'd always thought that the only people over the age of 8 who wore combat trousers were children's TV presenters and lone gunmen. And I wasn't sure which I feared the most. It being the 70s, he was also wearing a pair of cowboy boots, which made him look like Clint Eastwood from the ankles down. We didn't speak. I next met him properly at Evesham, where Worcestershire twos were entertaining Somerset twos. Hendo turned up with a broken finger, a bottle of beer, and spent the afternoon talking to the understandably unhurried car park attendant. Looking back, I think we can see a pattern emerging. And that pattern is not that Hendo is always injured, though those of us who saw him today might beg to differ. And it's not that he's always first to the bar. He is, but that's normally because he's first into the bar. But really, what it is it means that for Hendo, the people have always been as important as the game, and his success, scratchy and sporadic as it has been, has only ever been half the story. For Hendo, even if he is the only man who actually considers wearing an MCC blazer somehow hip, even if his first degree, now airbrushed from history, was a lowly third in general arts from Durham University, the sheer haziness of the name, general arts, telling you everything you needed to know about its academic rigour. Even if Hendo thinks euthanasia is a student travel company specialising in the Far East, And even if, having invited some of the thirstiest men and women alive to his 50th, he has chosen a venue unreachable by public transport. And virtually unreachable by taxi, confident in the knowledge that he, for one, will not be holding the car keys when the hog roast stops spinning. But the reason we're here today is that Hendo is an extraordinary man. Loyal, generous, utterly inclusive. He loves life and everyone and everything in it. I've played more cricket with Hendo than with any other man. And if I've had more hangovers before, during and as a result of cricket than in any other sphere of my life, those two facts should not necessarily be confused. As I said, I've played more cricket with Hendo than with any other man, and I'm sure you know what I mean when I say I couldn't have wanted it any other way. So, firstly, I would like to ask everyone to thank Hendo for his extreme generosity today, and Sophie for organising this. I can assure you I've done absolutely nothing to help whatsoever. And so I'd all ask you to raise your glasses to the birthday boy. After all, it's not often you can say to someone on their 50th birthday, here's to the next 159. So Hendo.
Thank you.
Very good.